Welcome back to special stage and to coverage of the penultimate round of the Protyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship. It is Rally Ceredigion, and we are in the fourth stage of the rally, the second stage of the day. This is Llynbriani, and it is a monster. I'm Paul Woodford, and I am delighted to be joining you as we give you live coverage of this penultimate round of the series all weekend. We're going to be live later on at around 4:30 as well. And then this evening, just after 7 o'clock for the two runs through Aberystwyth Seafront once again in the town centre. So obviously the timings are subject to changes on the rally. Apologies, we're a little bit delayed coming into this. Can't be helped, but at least we are here. Total mileage then for today, or total kilometres for today, as it is on this rally. Stages 3 to 10 covered on leg 2, 124.3 kilometres. And this one, as I say, is the big one. One of those stages that seems to have a little bit of everything. It starts under the trees. It was a little bit misty early this morning. It's pretty much cleared, but I'll tell you what, there are some big cuts that have been taken out on the stages ahead of our crews coming through here in the National Rally. And there's also quite a lot of water on the stage as well. You can see in your shot, it just glistening on the way down the hill here. We've got a great couple of camera shots for you. The first, somewhere between a square right and a 3 right, you'll see the cars squirming off over the brow, and it's caught a few of the cars in the International Rally out before this. So breakfast started off the day, and the leaderboard did take a little bit of a shake-up after we went into the overnight halt with Jersey man Sam Touzle, Max Freeman alongside, leading the way from Neil Roskell, Rob Fagg, and then Callum Black and Jack Morton, our two title hopefuls. 7 points separating Callum and Neil in that order coming into this penultimate round. Pretty much where we were coming into Rally Ceredigion last year as well, which was the final round of the series. We still have the Hillsford stages to go in a couple of weeks' time in the Malvern Hills, so it won't be sewn up this weekend, or we don't think it will be sewn up this weekend. Not as things stand anyway. The leaderboard after the third stage this morning then. That first stage through the famous Breckford Forest, albeit on the tarmac, but an area that has served us well in the Rally GB years, hasn't it? 19.75 kilometres, the first stage of the day. This is the longest stage of the rally, actually, stage 4. Llynbriani, 26.5 kilometres, something for our crews to get their teeth into but experience will show on here. So here is your leaderboard after 3. Callum Black, Jack Morton lead the way, and it is after a stomping performance through the first stage of this morning through Breckfast, a 12.6 second lead from Kevin Davies, Owen Davies. They're going well in that Polo R5. We thought they might, and they certainly were on it last night in the town centre, weren't they? Not that that is necessarily any kind of a measure at just a 1.3 kilometres, but it did give us a flavour of things to come, didn't it? Sam Toozle, Max Freeman, the men who led overnight, still putting in impressive times to be 6.5 back from the Polo pair in their bright metallic pink Fiesta Rally 2 in 3rd place. Then comes Neil Roskell, Rob Fagg. They'll be frustrated to have dropped so much time to Callum and Jack. They need to get closer to that lead pair for that championship fight. They're 1.2 seconds back from Sam Toozle and Max Freeman, and you can bet they will be on a big charge. Rob Fagg, former Works co-driver from the Isle of Man, knows how to win rallies. And he is an experienced pair of hands. And a good man to have on the notes as Neil goes into this crucial phase of the championship, the penultimate round. Just one to go after this, and trailing Callum Black and Jack Morton by 7 points. He doesn't want a repeat of last year's Rally Ceredigion, that is for sure, ending the rally in a bale. Hugh James, Lewis Simmer on a charge. We are covering the Protyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship leaderboard, which is why some of the other national crews who feature in the leaderboard won't feature in this rundown. But you can find the overall national leaderboard at EWRC. Hugh James, Lewis Sim then in 5th place. 53.2, the gap back from Neil Roskell and Rob Fagg. Of course, that top 4 all tussling for a lead, which could just change hands a few times before we get to the end of this rally. A long, long way to go. Darren Atkinson, Harry Stubbs trailing their B13 challengers, 4.9 back. And that's the two-wheel drive battle. The third driver in that is Gordon Morrison, Ian Parker alongside, 16.1 back from the Haldane Fisher Mark II, which leads the way in B13, coming in here to this penultimate round. Indeed, comes here 4th in the overall title standings as well. Mike English, Simon Hunter then back in 8th place, just a second back from Morrison and Parker in the B13 Escort. Then it's Ben Crump and Ian Beaumont. They've been quick this weekend, leading B11 at this stage as well. Comes here second in B11, so that is a crucial position to be in at the moment here on stage 4 as far as the championship is concerned. Nathan Evans, Rhys Edwards, they were leery and very impressive last night through the town in that Clio. They are 7 seconds back inside the top 10. So Hugh James leads B13, Ben Crump leads B11, Rory McCann B10. And William Mains in that three-wheeling Nova, three-wheeling simply because it was going so fast and lifting its wheel through the town last night, not because of any other more sinister reasons, leads B9 at this stage. We are just awaiting our championship leaders, Callum Black, Jack Morton through in the Palace Connections Fiesta Rally 2. Yeah, a few minutes before the cars come into that first shot. There you go. Hello to you, wherever you're joining. We'd love to know where you're watching from, so do tell us. Darren Dixon, hello to you. Justine Hand. Alison Toozle, there is the man at the moment. 12.6 seconds ahead, about 3/4 of a mile left to go in this stage through to the flying finish, and then we'll get a time on the board. I will balance my time through this stage. Brian Launchbury, I'm not meant to mention kilometres. I know I'm not, no. It's one of the things I have to be very Basil Fawlty about this weekend, but my maths isn't quick enough not to, so... although I've had a bit of a gap, haven't I? I should have really worked it all out. As you can see, the stage's still a little bit wet. It is hairy coming through here. I've been watching some of the in-car before our national crews took to this stage, and it is fast. It's fast, it's narrow. Some bits, particularly at the start of the stage, are under the trees. It's next to the reservoir here, which is where the stage gets its name. Clint Briani. Interesting fact as well from Neil Henderson while I was scanning social media ahead of this stage starting and our live broadcast getting underway. And I'll come to that very shortly. It involves some very damaged rally cars, a bit of spurious tarmac, the Welsh Rally in the early 70s, and some big names. I'll tell you that story in just a moment, but I tell you what, there is a man who is on a charge. Getting just out of shape on the wet stuff, showing just how hard he is pushing. Neil Roskell, Rob Fagg, the marksman alongside. 1.2 seconds back from Sam Touzle, the overnight leader, coming into this fourth stage of the day and pushing hard through stage 4. Big chunk of mileage today. 124 of the event's overall 184 kilometers just today. Beautiful weather conditions, plenty of wind. It will dry out those bits of wet, I'm sure, before we're done here. We'll go on to Nancy Mock on this stage. There's the man currently in second place, 12 seconds back from the rally leaders, Kevin Davies, Owen Davies. Only done Legend Fire's Northwest Stages and Tour of Epping so far, but they come here 14th in the B15 class, looking for some points to put on the board. They came 7th overall, 3rd in their class, or 3rd in the in the Protyre Cruise on last year's Rally. Ceredigion, the Volkswagen pair, chasing down our reigning champions and championship leaders on this penultimate round. If you're just tuning in, welcome to Special Stage. Welcome to the Protyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship. This is the 4th stage of the day. We've got an awful long way to go, but the action is, as you can see, well underway here in Clint Briani. 26 kilometers. It's a big old stage, and it is a big challenge for our crews as well. We'll bring you action throughout the field. A number of retirements, but we will bring you everyone who is still running here on this 4th stage, and we'll be back live with you later today around 4:30. And then this evening for the stages in Aberystwyth in the town centre as well. If you want some live rally action from the stages here in West Wales for your weekend, we have got you covered. And we're delighted to be here. The weather is perfect. You can see water just being kicked up, can't you, on the brow of the hill. Just a reminder of how scary this could be. Dylan Davies not registered for championship points, but possibly the most excited man on the rally alongside him. Michael Gilby, who was amazed to be waking up in his family home in the town he grew up in, going rallying on his local roads. It's great to see the excitement. Callum Black is on a charge. He's taken 26.6 seconds out of Roskell on this stage. That is a critical narrative for the championship. By no means a done deal, obviously, at this stage, but it is critical. Rob will be working very hard with Neil inside that car to get every ounce of that talent that we've seen from him out on these stages. Apologies, my entry list shows Harry Stubbs next to Darren Atkinson. It's actually Phil Sandham, isn't it? In with him this weekend, such has been quite a few changes, actually, of co-driver. At short notice, as we've gone through from the earlier notes being printed off ahead of the event. Correction, sorry, to Phil Sandham inside that Haldane Fisher car, second in B13. You'll see from them shortly. And they'll be on a big push through here because they need the championship coming into here for the class. But that won't be enough. They won't want to be second behind Hugh James, will they? There's the man who led overnight. Sam Touzle, Max Freeman alongside. First time on UK rallies, first time we'd seen him this year, but wow, has he come on strong. We saw him for the first time at Snetterton earlier in the year, didn't we? On the Circuit Championship. And then they came out here on the closed roads, and they are doing the business. Had a bit of tuition from two-time British Rally champion Matt Edwards. Another man spending a bit of time with us here in Wales this weekend for the Rally Ceredigion, albeit not here in the National Rally. That tuition and the work that Sam has done to get himself up to speed has really paid off. A massive moment there for John Dalton. Grover Jones alongside, just demonstrating how tricky this section of stage is. Just got it wide and at the bank. Come over too hot. It's a really fast section before they get into this little section before the finish. So you come in here hot and you have to get it slowed down. It's a bit of a shock to the system, I should imagine, and we saw what that looks like just there. Hello to Corey Shaw, watching by the side of the stage. Roy Millington has got his priorities straight. He should be here at the rally, but it's his granddaughter's birthday. Missed that. I agree, Roy. Family comes first. Mark Brown watching from Plymouth, Devon. Robin Luke watching from the Scottish borders. Hello to you. Barry Ford, hello mate. One of your fellow Manxmen out here doing the business this weekend. That is a brave bit of cutting, isn't it? There are some big cuts as you go through the stage, but I'm not sure I've seen anyone cutting there. Joanne Evans, Gareth Parry alongside. Big cut from them. Callum Black, Jack Morton now 27.1 seconds ahead of Kevin Davies. Owen Davies in the polo. Neil Roskell, Rob Fagg will be frustrated to lose a fist full of time through this stage to their championship rivals. 12.1 seconds they lost to the polo up ahead. 26.6 they lost, as I mentioned earlier, to Callum and Jack. Puts them in third place for now. Still some times to go. What can Sam Touzle do through here? They drop into fourth. 35.5 seconds off that blistering pace up ahead of Callum Black and Jack Morton. Playing a sensible game last night through the town centre, it would appear, and luring their rivals into perhaps a false sense of security as well through those two first short, sharp 1.3 kilometre blasts through Aberystwyth to line in third place overnight. They came out fighting this morning, 12 seconds in the lead on that first stage time. 14.5 quicker than the polo behind through this second stage. It's a very rosy picture indeed for that black and gold Colours Connections 586 Sport Fiesta Rally 2 of our Australian champions. There's the fastest two-wheel drive man as we speak. Hugh James, Lewis Sim alongside. They come here third in the B13 class. First place here would be a very crucial haul of points for them indeed. An awful long way to go before we can say that, though. 184 kilometres. Job of growing this event from a one-day to a two-day to a national event and into this international event that it is this weekend. Over 3 days. multiple visits to the town centre stage in Aberystwyth. And if tonight is anything like last night was, the atmosphere is absolutely stunning, and I can't wait for that. A lot of water at the top there, isn't there? As you see the cars. It's coming into our view in this second camera shot. Will Rowlands, Emir Hall, second in the historic cup, coming here to this penultimate round of the championship. So after this stage, our crews head off to Nancy Moch, the cracking stage, before heading back to service in Aberystwyth. And then it's back out this afternoon to do it all over again. Bregfa, Llynbriani, and Nancy Moch again. And then we head into those two Aberystwyth stages this evening as well. That's Richard Clues, Carl Williamson alongside. They went well last night. The sister car to Mark Higgins and Phil Pugh, who sadly have retired with issues on the car to just 3 miles this morning. It wasn't Mark Higgins' weekend, was it? Getting that car ready at last minute. Was keen to support and the work it's taken to get here. A lot of the work goes in before the cars even turn a wheel on the rally. But it wasn't to be for rally legend this weekend. Talking of rally legends, Gwyndaf Evans has started the stage, hasn't come into view yet. Darren Atkinson, Phil Sandham then in the leading B13 Escort coming into this round, chasing though Hugh James and Lewis Sim. They put a 15.08 in. Hugh James, Lewis Sim in the Mark II. That leaves them 8th place overall as far as the National Rally is concerned, as far as Protyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship runners are concerned. It puts them in 5th at the moment. Thank you to John Hawkins, who's feeds me bits of information as well. Helps with the juggling. John Dalton, Grenford Jones, not registered for points, but dropping in, interestingly, 6.2 seconds behind Neil Roskell and Rob Fagg as far as stage times are concerned through this stage. There's John Rintoul, Ross Hind in the C3 Rally 2. Nobody in the league that Callum Black and Jack Morton seem to be today, though, on these stages. Everything going to plan for our reigning champions, and coming into this round by 7 points with a title fight on our hands in the last 2 rounds of the series, our championship leaders. They put a stage time in here in this 4th stage of the day. Llynbriani to be 14.5 seconds ahead of anybody else through this 4th stage of the day, which gives them a 27.1 second lead overall in the National Rally, and indeed in the Protyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship points as well. Will Rowlands, Emir Hall dropping into 10th place with a 15.41 in the overall national cruise. John Dalton, Grimford Jones still fourth. Overall, splitting Neil Roskell and Sam Toozle. And there's Alan Morgans, who after a big crash at Traw's Vineyard in North Wales had to borrow Lee Edwards' G3 Escort to do this, his home rally. And a rally which is important as he comes here second in that B13 fight. Hugh James out in front is third in the B13 title standings coming into this round. These positions are all crucial. It will be interesting to see where Allard feeds in. Don't forget, that G3 Escort is new to him and he won't want to bend it, so obviously. Dylan Davies, Michael Gilby drop into 7th place on the overall national leaderboard. Johan Evans, Gareth Parry just ahead of them. But only 0.4 of a second in it. There's definitely a battle on there. And there's Roger Moran with Dan Petrie alongside. We've only seen him on the Legend Fire's Northwest stages this year. Interestingly, Andy Davies and Lee Taylor in the Fiesta, and I mentioned him earlier, Gwyndaf Evans, Peredur Davies, who did start the stage. They're both showing us stationary on the tracker at the moment. Not necessarily a full indication of anything at this stage, but we will keep an eye on that and let you know. Darren Atkinson, Phil Sandham then, dropping into the overall national top 10. 2 positions behind Hugh James and Lewis Sim. Crucially, 41 seconds back. 45 seconds back, in fact. Ben Crump and Ian Beaumont have been fast so far this weekend. They come here second in the B11 standings. At the moment, they lead the B11 fight here, coming into this 4th stage of the day. What can they do through here? Nathan Evans, Michael Harbour chasing them down. They were 5.7 back from Mike English and Simon Hunter in the overall leaderboard. As you see, Wayne Evans and John Smithick through this 4th stage of the day. If you're just tuning in, welcome to Special Stage. Welcome to our live coverage of the Protyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship. This is the penultimate round, round 7 of the series. It is Rally Ceredigion. It is, as many of our competitors have been referring to it on the build-up, the big one, and it has delivered so far. You're watching roughly about a kilometre or so from the end of this 26-kilometre stage through Llyn-Briani. I promised you the story of 1973, courtesy of Neil Henderson, didn't I? Head of the Welsh Rally, they'd tarmacked the section of road that we see here, access to the reservoir for construction traffic, and they neglected to tell the rally competitors, and only a few of the competitors had tarmac tyres on, which led to a number of crews going off and a lot of trouble, as well as the Queen was due to open the newly built reservoir shortly after that. A big moment there. You just saw Thomas Davies send Buckley through the stage, and there is a round of applause for Gareth Thomas and Ryan Thomas Hands, who gather it up, get it all out of shape. Off the stage one side, off the stage the other side, and then back on the stage, clattering through a directional arrow on their way through in the Wales Motorsport car. A big round of applause from the spectators. Nicely done. They were leery last night. They were entertaining James Williams, weren't they, when he joined us on the coverage last night in Aberystwyth. Ever so sideways through there. But a big moment, and you know, joking aside, we were all sort of cheering, and that was quite exciting to watch. But that is a big moment. That's a big wake-up call. Didn't do the rally last year. Not that that would have much of a bearing on things this year. Only one of the stages, which is the stage we're live on for you tomorrow, was done last year. So it's all changed. Havard was the only stage that we did last year that remains. The rest is a new route, but a big moment there for Gareth. And a bit of entertainment. There's quite a lot of chatter from the marshals and spectators gathered here in this fourth stage. So the leaderboard currently in the Protyre cruise looks like this as we see another moment. Callum Black, Jack Morton, 27.1 seconds ahead after 4 stages. Kevin Davies, Owen Davies upsetting that championship battle between the man behind them, Neil Roskell, Rob Fagg, and the man ahead, Callum Black. By just dropping in the middle. There's Adrian Evans and Martin Henry. Neil Roskell then 46.9 seconds off the rally lead at this stage. That is crucial, and he needs to do something about that. He's got a long way to go in order to do it. He's got the, perhaps you might say, the right man alongside him to help with that. There's Reece Wyn Davies, Gervin James in the Darien GTR. Hopefully it's a tracker issue, because we were talking about how well Ben Crump had gone so far to be leading B11 here and to be 9th place in the overall Protyre leaderboard. But he has stopped on the tracker just past us in this 4th stage. To remind you, we're just over a kilometre, I think, from the end of this stage, 3/4 of a mile or so. And he's showing us stopped just after us. Hopefully a tracker issue, but again, no time through for Ben Crump, so that could be very frustrating indeed. Although it's a 3-day event, unlike the Manx that counted as 2 rounds here in the Protyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship. 2 chances to score points, 2 bites of the cherry if things go wrong on day 1. Here, it's 3 days and it all counts towards 1 set of championship points. The stakes are high, the pressure perhaps even higher. Hugh James, Lewis Sim on a real charge in their B13 Escort. 5th place overall. Now just 35.2 from Sam Touzle. There's Gareth Edwards. And Moy Williams. Darren Atkinson, Phil Sandham. Just can't get on terms with Hugh James. But you could argue that they're playing the long game here. They're looking at the championship points. They lead the championship coming into this one. You don't want to do anything silly. It's that balance we always talk about, isn't it? In this sport, between pushing for glory and playing the strategy, playing the game. Well, the game plan's worked so far, hasn't it, for that fast Haldane Fisher Escort. 34.9 the gap, though, in B13, and between 5th and 6th place overall in the Protyre leaderboard. Will Rowlands hanging on behind them, 8.9 seconds back, the man who went so well on the Manx this year. And behind them, after doing just the first round of the championship, back out here on Rally Ceredigion, the penultimate round, Roger Moran, Daniel Petrie in the Fabia R5. There's Phil Rogers, Sean Jones, taking things a little steadier through here after their retirement on last year's Rally Ceredigion. We've seen, haven't we, just how tricky this stage is. Gareth Thomas, Ryan Thomas' hands getting all out of shape coming down here. Not just them, John Dalton as well, sticking the Darien up on the bank, both looking to get away with those moments. Both entertaining the spectators down here and both showing as if it were needed just how tricky these challenging stages are. Number of crews actually doing their first rally here. First rally on pace notes. This is road rally country here. It's a section of road which has featured Glenn Briani in Chris Hellier event. Howes Lanes is Sam Helen. San Helen, sorry, and the Bro Karen, I think, has been down here as well. So, big road rally country and a number of road rally crews joining us. Saw, for example, Chris Richmond hand last night in a glorious Toyota Starlet, which we expect to see ever so sideways down here. Enjoyed himself in the dark last night. But a number of these guys now coming out and doing their first pace note event this year. We've seen that a few times, haven't we, on the leaderboard so far. What a formidable event to do as your first event. Talking of which, Martin Rossiter, Dan Moorfield, you see there. They have not been doing this for very long at all. According to my notes, last year, here on Rally Ceredigion was their first year of competing. They came 28th overall, 5th in the class. You can see just how hard Rory and Paul McCann are pushing there, can't you? Not a whole lot of competition for them here this weekend for the B10 points, but nevertheless, pushing hard. And again, another crew getting out of shape, coming down here after getting on the water. Although it's a bit misty and there's some big cuts that have been taken on crews before them, making things a little slippery on the corners. It is fast, it's mostly dry, and it's nice and flowing coming into this section. So it's a bit of a wake-up call coming into this fast downhill, but technical bit of stage, and it is wet. You can see the water glistening on the stage, and that is catching a few people out. And you see just how wet it is as well, can't you, with that burst of spray at the top. Here's the man sitting in 10th position and chasing that B11 lead as well. Coming into this stage, Nathan Evans, Rhys Edwards alongside. They were 7 seconds down on Ben Crump, who still hasn't put a time in and is still showing, has stopped on the tracker. Is it all over for this weekend for the Escort pair? Are we going to see a Renault Clio come out of stage 4 in the lead of that class? There's a 34, nearly 35 second gap in the two-wheel drive leaderboard at the top. As Darren Atkinson and Phil Sandham come here with that B13 lead on 4th in the overall title standings, and currently chase Hugh James and Lewis Sim, who actually come here 3rd in B13. A possible upset on the cards in the highly competitive B13 class. On this, the penultimate round then. Gordon Morrison, talking of that class, come here 4th in B13. He and Ian Parker coming to this stage 7th in the Protyre leaderboard. 3rd in the B13 class after 3 stages so far. 2 short blasts through Aberystwyth last night, and that rude awakening through Breckford, through that iconic part of Welsh countryside this morning. Now onto this, the longest stage of the rally, 26 or so kilometres. Flynn Briani. Just looking at the overall national event at the moment, John Dalton, Gwynfor Jones in 4th place are leading the two-wheel drive charge, not registered for points. Hugh James, Lewis Sim have the honour of leading the two-wheel drive in the Protyre crews. But they're a little way back, as you see. Again, another big moment, and we had a few of those, didn't we, last night in Aberystwyth for this very sideways BMW over here from the Isle of Man. Tim Cole and Dave Sutcliffe. He's only done Manx events coming into this season. You wonder how he survived so many of them, being that entertaining on lanes like these. Spectators and marshals really enjoying themselves down here near the end of this 4th stage of the day. Lots of whoops and cheers. Yeah, so the overall national leaderboard doesn't look very different as far as the top 3 are concerned. In fact, it's exactly the same. Callum Black, Jack Morton lead the way at the moment in their Fiesta Rally 2, 27.1 seconds ahead of Kevin and Owen Davies in the Polo R5. Neil Roskell, Rob Fagg on for that championship fight with Callum and Jack ahead, but crucially they're a fair way behind at 46.9 seconds at this point. Sam Toozle, Max Freeman, who impressed us last night, leading the rally overnight. Still impressing us indeed, hanging on in 4th place. Behind them, John Dalton, Gwynfor Jones, who took 4th fastest time on this stage, despite that moment we saw going at the bank on the water down here towards the 2nd camera position we've got for you in this stage. They're in 5th place, leading the two-wheel drives. Reese Wyn Davies, Cohen James behind them. In 6th overall, there's Mike English and Simon Hunter coming into this in 8th place in the Protyre leaderboard. 1 second behind B13 and the two-wheel drive battle. Gordon Morris and Ian Parker, the 3rd of those. And 5.7 ahead of Ben Crump and Ian Beaumont, who I do believe have retired, having stopped just after our camera position in this 4th stage. Gutted for them. On for a big result as far as the B11 class is concerned, but it looks like it is game over. Perhaps Super Rally is on the cards. I'm not sure what the issue is. We'll update you if we find out while we're on air. And just behind the first 2 of those two-wheel drive cars, the 2 T90 Darien GTRs, Dylan Davies and Michael Gilby, the local road driver, so excited to be on his home lanes in the countryside, in which he grew up doing one of the biggest rallies we've seen for some time in the UK. Lovely to see. And he's going well alongside Dylan in that Skoda Fabia R5. Johan Evans, Gareth Parry, the 3rd of the two-wheel drive cars overall in 8th. As you see, Nathan Bolton and Phil Kenny through this stage in the Evo 9. Coming here to Rally Ceredigion, 6th place in the B14 championship leaderboard. Gareth Edwards, Moy Williams complete the Darien top 3 within our top 10 in 9th place. And just behind them, rounding out the top 10 overall, the first of our Protyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship two-wheel drive crews, Hugh James and Lewis Sim, 10th place in the overall national rally. There's Adrian Spencer with Rick Sutcliffe alongside this weekend in the Impreza. 4th in the title standings in B14 coming into this. Being hounded through this stage by Gordon Cunningham and Stuart McManus. We did say coming into this we expected a few of our crews to have caught their marker men and women, because it is a long old stage, 26 or so kilometres through this 4th stage of the day. Llymbriani stage, which takes in the reservoir which gives it its name. It was the 9th fastest time in the Protyre cruise for Allard Morgans and Ian Taylor in the Escort G3 that they've borrowed from Lee Edwards this weekend. Decent time from them, but more crucially, given that they are second in B13, Hugh James, Lewis Sim, who trail them in the championship standings in B13, quite a few positions and a fair bit of time as well further up that leaderboard. Almost a minute and a half. The gap between them. But you know what? After doing significant damage on Troels Vinid, like they beats the car between a couple of rocks, like a parapet when I saw the picture of the accident. A lot of damage done to the car. Allard Morgan's just delighted to be out and to have had the support he has to get out, and even if it is damage limitation, he's out on his home event and he's out fighting for a championship here in the B13 class. And we love to see it. There's Michael Harbour, Cameron Dunn. If I'm correct, and Ben Crump has retired, that means that Michael Harbour may not know it yet, unless he's been looking at the tracker at the start of the stage. Moves into second in B11. Two cars coming into this section of stage themselves. We should just about get the times coming through from Nancy Mock while we're on air, and I will, of course, keep you updated. How many of those? David Longfellow, Mark Broadbent in the Citroën DS3 R5 being caught by Berwyn Evans, Yvan Devine. The DS3 crew haven't done this event. Berwyn Evans came 33rd, 16th in class on last year's, retired the year before. Perhaps that little bit of extra knowledge on these lanes showing there as he catches up to that Citroën. Just looking for Mark Holmes, Bonnie Papa now. If you are just tuning in to this coverage of the penultimate round of the Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship, our Protyre leaderboard, very interesting indeed. Callum Black and Jack Morton having come into today in 3rd place, albeit only by a small margin, and now leading the way by a very convincing 27.1 seconds. There is the escort of Mark Holmes. Bonnie Papa over from the Isle of Man alongside, enjoying herself. One of our Motorsport UK Academy co-drivers. Again, another big moment coming down the hill here on that water. Water's at just the wrong point. Howell Davies, Dorian Evans getting away with it in that historic spec escort. But only just. can't see a time through for Rory McCann. I wonder if Wayne in the studio can do a bit of digging on that one. We were expecting that to come through. Rory and Paul having a moment coming towards us here in the Civic on that water. But they went past us fine. They came here with perhaps the pressure off a little, with not much competition around them in B10. Leading the way as far as the class was concerned into this fourth stage, but no time from them. So far on EWRC. Evan Williams, Daniel Jones there. Okay, I'm hearing that Rory's finished the stage. Why no time then? I wonder. On the leaderboard. There's Mark and Claire Lennox. 13th in B11 coming into this. Claire's other half, Myron Evans, competing in the international event. In the second of the Castrol Yaris Rally 2s. They had their beautiful golden Labrador along with them for the recce on this one. Nice sights on social media. Okay, so yeah, Rory McCann, Paul McCann have posted a time through this stage, putting them 22nd on the overall national leaderboard. Sorry, I'm just working out as I go. There's Kerry Jones and Dylan Bargate. Consistent results in the last couple of years here at Rally Ceredigion, 35th, 37th respectively. 2nd and 5th in class apiece in the last couple of years. John Hawkins, if you're still with me, we seem to have a fairly condensed leaderboard showing on EWRC for our Motorsport UK Protyre competitors. Will Hill, Richard Crozier, by the way, went into a ditch in the third stage. They'd lost the brakes, and it sounded from the message I saw from Richard that they'd significantly damaged the car. Whether or not they'll be continuing, we're not sure, but they won't be around today, I don't think. Haven't seen the damage, just going on what I was told. That message didn't look good though for the Rally 3 Hills Ford Fiesta pair. Just waiting for Rory and Paul McCann's time to drop in actually on the leaderboard. They're 22nd overall, just behind Roger Moran and Dan Petrie. can't be far away from the next stage. Nantes-Moch welcoming its first national cruise through. As soon as we start to get times from that, I will give you an update as well. For now, staying with the action here in the fourth stage. Clint Brianni. Jeremy Packer, Glenn Thomas, chased down, literally chased down by Philip Lloyd and Dean Wiltshire. They weren't here last year, but they had a retirement the year before, and obviously we'll be hoping to avoid that. Here we go, a few more times in now. Rory McCann, Paul McCann actually put a time in quicker. 3.8 seconds quicker than the Skoda Fabia R5 of Roger Moran. That is super impressive from the Civic pair. Just 8.3 back from that hard charging and well-experienced pair in the historic Escort. Will Rowlands, Emir Hall up in front. That puts them 9th in the Protyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship Cruise. As far as the stage time is concerned, where does it drop them in? Just outside the top 10 then. Rory and Paul McCann still leading the way, of course, in B10 with that leaderboard position. 2.3 back from, sorry, no, 3.3 back. I'm looking a car further back for Rory and Paul McCann. They want to get into the overall top 10 here in the Protyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship. But a sensible drive will surely be the order of the day. Ricky Reynolds, Heffen Jenkins, and they are being chased down by that glorious brand new built KP60 Starlet of Chris Richmond Hand. Izzy Holman alongside. Bit of a busman's holiday for her. I think she's the sales and marketing manager, isn't she, at Silverstone Rally School? That car, brand new build, although it was a car that Chris bought back recently, having navigated for the first time alongside his dad in 2006 in the car. It's undergone a fastidious rebuild. He's been sending me pictures of it, right down to a bare shell. It was only a bare shell for something like 5 weeks ago. And it is beautiful, goes well as well. 230 brake horsepower, 6-speed dog box. Riga suspension, and crucially it is road legal. He's going to be going for his 3rd Van Windegg win in that KP60 Starlet. Chris Richmond Hand, the man who everybody talks very highly of in these parts, knows these roads well from his road rallying, and was quite at home in the dark, where, in his words, he belongs last night in Aberystwyth. More of that to come this evening in that beautiful Starlet. Lovely story as well. His dad's no longer with us, Mick Hammer, riding on board courtesy of a solid gold plaque with his name emblazoned on the dashboard inside that very significant car. Kereth Thomas Jones, Thomas Richard Hughes having a bit of a moment down there, only on their 2nd ever rally. They did the Jaffa stages last year at Pembury. I think James Williams threatened to put me in the co-driver's seat alongside him in the Orange Amplifiers Hyundai last night on the live stream, didn't he? They didn't finish their first rally, but here they come to possibly the biggest rally in the UK. No pressure, lads. Doing a good job so far. Nathan Bolton, Phil Kennedy, the first of the Evo 9s on the Protyre leaderboard. Behind them, Adrian Spencer and Rick Sutcliffe. They've got a 12.3 second lead as well. And then Tim Cole and Dave Sutcliffe in the Manx BMW that went ever so sideways down here and did so last night. Both times we saw it through the stage, 7.7 back on the leaderboard, ahead of Mark Holmes and Bonnie Papa. There's Lloyd Morgan and Ellie Williams in the C2 R3 Max. Don't they sound amazing? I remember asking not so long ago where all the C2 R2s went, and we seem to have most of them here in the Protyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship. There's Nicky Addison, Ian Thorburn alongside, doing a great job this year, switching from doing primarily Scottish events up until this season in the EP3 Civic. Coming third in the B11 class. Putting the 24th fastest time in the Protyre Cruise through the first stage this morning, the breakfast stage. 4.2 seconds off the beautiful Mark II Astra GTE of Neil Jones as well. And frustratingly for Will Hill and Richard Crozier, they trailed behind. They do look like they're still running actually. So maybe I'm wrong and we will see them through. Another big moment. Are they going to get away with that? I'll tell you what, we talked about this last night. A bit of damage then on that normally pristine Vauxhall Nova of William Mains, leading the B9 class, and will perhaps just need to rein things in a little bit, coming over a brow like that. Get over the crest and you see that water and you can't do anything about it at that point. It was almost a passenger, wasn't he, into the scenery. Managed to stay in control and get that car back on the stage, I'm pleased to say. It was spectacular to watch in the town centre stage last night, and equally so here on these reservoir roads. Charlie Tuzzle, Ben Wild have been going well this year, mixing gravel and asphalt in their first season of rallying. In that little MG ZR, it's a great colour scheme on that car as well. And they're out next weekend with us in the Protyre BTRDA Gravel Series as well for the Woodpecker Rally, not far from where we are this weekend either. A change of format for the Woodpecker. Live coverage, of course, on that one as well. And if you've missed any of our live coverage so far this season, we are live on every single round of the Protyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship, as well as the Protyre BTRDA. You can catch up at specialstage.tv. The live coverage is on there, as well as our highlights shows, which come your way on the first Friday of every month, featuring a full range of asphalt, gravel, and even off-road racing events here in the UK and across the world. Rally Barbados and a number of European and Irish events as well. Joining in the fun. I'll tell you what, John Hawkins has just drawn my attention to an absolutely stonking time. A 15-minute 40 time by Nathan Evans and Rhys Edwards. Now, they really have been flying, and with Ben Crump, I think I can say now, retiring from the B11 class this weekend, it leaves them in the lead, and that is going to be some lead with times like that if they keep it up. They came into this 10th overall in the Protyre Cruise. The time was good enough for 7th overall. It moves them up to 8th at the moment. They're on the move, overhauling Gordon Morrison, Parker, as well as Mike English and Simon Hunter through this stage. Fantastic time from Nathan Evans, who really seems to have found his feet in the last couple of rallies, doesn't he? Don't forget as well, we'll also be giving away one of our Money Can't Buy Rallying is Life Rally TV t-shirts again. We're doing it on every live stream this year because, frankly, we just want to get you more involved in our coverage. All you've got to do is be involved in the live stream on Facebook, on YouTube, on specialstage.tv, wherever you're watching. And we do a draw after the rally. It's as simple as that. If you've already joined us so far this weekend, you're in the draw, as you see Jamie Evans and Mark Hughes through the stage. Just join some of you on our YouTube stream now. I promise to do this. I've done it every time, but sometimes I get carried away and don't quite manage to get on the live stream, but I will be doing as much of that as I can this weekend. Thank you if you're watching. We do this for you. So do our sponsors. Tony Rukagoza is watching from Kampala in Uganda. Good to have you with us. Chris Evans and Neil Spires and their little Suzuki Swift Sport, former Cup car, got away with a bit of a moment when they clipped the inside of the curb, went over the pavement, didn't they, last night? You were watching our coverage on the town centre stage, just still finding the water and the dirt that's been pulled out on the stage, aren't they, our crews? Paul Jones says thanks for mentioning the Chris Hellier Rally. It's on November the 23rd and 24th this year. If you're interested, takes in lanes like these in West Wales. In fact, John Hawkins, who is of EWRC, one of the EWRC lads, is helping me with some updates this weekend. It's the clock of the course, I think, the last time Chris Hellier used this bit of road in this direction on the road rally. Simon Golding doesn't believe we're in Wales because it's not raining. He's watching from Essex. Ben Bear Williams says, well held. You could have said that a few times. Hello to Applehead 48. Nicky Jones watching in North Wales. Doing a road rally tonight up the road. What road rally are you doing tonight? Tell me about it. Let's give it a try. Affian Thomas, Dewey Davies there in the Escort RS 2000. Lovely looking car that. Came 52nd overall, 8th in class on last year's rally Ceredigion. 43rd and 5th in class the year before. The entry, the competition, the challenge gets bigger and better every year with this rally. Alan Wellesby, Daniel Parsons in their Mark II there. Didn't see any of the Defender Challenge cars through the stage last night, did we? The stage in the town centre got cancelled due to another blocked car under the bridge towards the end of our stream. Hopefully we'll see those guys through, and we'll certainly keep going as much as we can. Lewis from YouTube coming to watch the street stage later. What time it starts to get busy in Aberystwyth? Just about from now, I will safely say. It's Chris Palmer and Fiona Hill in their historic spec Escort. The only thing we can't bring you on these live shows is the smell. You get the sound, you get the dynamics, but the smell of these cars. Haffin Jones, Dale Bowen. First ever closed road rally, closed road rally, but experienced road rally competitor. Charlie Masters watching from Jersey, supporting our boy Toozle. Hey, I tell you what, your boy Toozle is going well, isn't he? Leading overnight. Did you expect that? It was the biggest gap in the top of the leaderboard, wasn't it? 1.5 second lead after just 2.6 kilometres, 2 short blasts through the town. A good confidence boost. You know, he didn't expect that to be the story of the rally by any stretch of his imagination, based on what I saw on social media, but he was delighted. Sometimes it's all about that confidence boost. Neil Roskell took a confidence boost as well, fastest through the first stage last night to open up with that 1.3 kilometre blast through Aberystwyth just as the sun was setting. The sun has set on his lead of the event, though. He's now in 3rd place with a whole lot of work to do to get back on terms with that championship battle. It feels like familiar territory, but you know what? There's a lot of support coming in for Roski. Dean Roskell, one of those. He is doing a solid job. You're right, Dean. Rob Fagg alongside doing likewise. And we're looking forward to that title fight, I think, going down to the wire. Winnell is quoting Oasis lyrics. I was going to read that out then. Today is going to be the day that they're going to throw it back to you. I take it you got your tickets then, Winnell. There were quite a few marshals and people on the ticket queue this morning. Everybody crossing their fingers. Well done to you if you managed to get tickets. If not, you could probably remortgage the house and buy them on the second-hand market now, couldn't you? They'll be out there already, mark my words. Evan Davies gutted to be working this weekend. Oh no, you had a message from a mate saying he had a Red Bull VIP pass for you. Well, I would say I'd quite like his Red Bull VIP pass, but the only thing better than that is a special stage VIP pass to be out here with you fine rally enthusiasts telling the story of these rallies. Stage side. Anthony Bridgman is watching from Barbados. Whereabouts in Barbados are you, Anthony? Very quickly and easily shot up my list of favourite places in the world when I went there for Rally Barbados this year. Take me back. Kingsley Ingram enjoying the coverage. In a moment, I'll recap on the leaderboard, so you know where we stand, and we'll keep an eye on the times coming in as well. From Nantimont, as you see, Colin Davies and Lucy Wilding. Colin doing his only rally this season, and indeed, Rally Ceredigion was the only rally he did last year as well. An expensive event this, and you know what, fair play. If you're going to do one rally a year, make it your local one and pick a good one, and I think he has. Super rallied last year, made the most of it though, came back out, came 80th on the overall leaderboard, 7th in class despite super rallying. Did well the year before, again one of only a couple of rallies in that year, 41st on the overall leaderboard and 6th in class. Similar times then from Nantimont. Cars kind of started that one yet, perhaps producer Wayne. If I flush my earpiece at you, you might just give me an update on where we are with cars starting the 5th stage of the day before heading back to Aberystwyth for service before a second loop of stages this afternoon, and then those two closed road harbourside, seaside stages through Aberystwyth in front of the fans. As the sun sets again tonight, can't wait for that. If you're going down there, do check out the Rally Ceredigion website. The organisers have put a lot of effort into making sure there are some fantastic spectator areas for you right through the weekend, and all the information you need is on their website. Just search Rally Ceredigion. There's Andrew Davies, Andrew Rees in their Mini Cooper S, who were ever so leery last night on the seafront. Okay, the car's about 10 minutes away. Thank you to producer Wayne in our studio here. Only a stone's throw and a mere shout from where I'm sat here with the second camera position, but yeah, 10 minutes from getting the cars into national entries into that 5th stage, Nantimont. Fantastic stage that. Will we get enough time through to give you a flavour of things before the end of this live stream? I think we probably will. There's Neil Jones in that Astra I mentioned earlier. Tell you what, comes here 12th in B11. His first rally was the mini-bit stages on Epping. Big respect for anyone who's Epping was their first rally. And it was in a Triumph TR7 V8 back in the 70s. That is pretty cool, isn't it? You saw Keith Daniels, Corey Powell-Jones, and there's Charlie Wright, Adam Westerby, a bit of a train of cars through the stage here alongside the reservoir in Clinbriani. The weather, beautiful here, as you can see. If you're tuned in, you might be thinking, well, this can't be Wales with weather like this. Although my Welsh friends would tell me that it's always sunny in Wales, and I have many Welsh friends, and they all do tell me that. But then I'm from Yorkshire, and I say the same thing about Yorkshire. So which one of us is a bigger liar? Which one of us has our pants more on fire? More live action for you as we go through this weekend. We've put the broadcast schedule on the special stage social media channels for you. If you would like a quick recap, we'll be live for stage 7 at the scheduled time of 4:35 this evening. Whether or not we'll be live at that time, make sure you tune in anyway. We'll update you if there are any delays in the meantime, and then we'll be live 7:20 once again for stages 9 and 10, which is those two stages through Aberystwyth. You see Thomas Davies, Sean Rowlands in their second ever rally, switching from the Peugeot 106. They did the Patriot stages in at Kerwent into that Corsa kit car. Sounds well as well, doesn't it? So we'll be live 4:30 and 7:20 this afternoon and this evening. And then tomorrow, 2 live stages for you to enjoy. One at 10 to 11 in the morning at stage 12, and then stage 14, 3:20 to conclude things in the afternoon. Final stage of Rally Ceredigion. At that point, we will have a very good picture of how this championship fight that we came here to Wales with, between the 2 protagonists who came here with it last year as well, albeit it was the final round last year, and we still have the Hillsford stages in Malvern to go this season. I am, of course, talking about Callum Black, Jack Morton, who lead the way with a convincing lead as well of 27.1 seconds over Kevin and Owen Davies in the Polo R5. Behind them, the men chasing second place, chasing championship points and chasing that championship lead as well as that Protyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship title. Neil Roskell, Rob Fagg jumping in alongside, subbing for Di Roberts, who switched into the ND Civils car for Andrew Ruffhead, who takes a year out for family commitments this year. Di getting Neil to the point this year to be challenging once again for the title coming into Rally Ceredigion. Arguably a stronger position than he was last year. It was a very outside chance that he could keep his title hopes alive coming in here to Aberystwyth and the surrounding lanes this year, albeit with 1 round left to go. That title fight very much still alive, and Roskell really wants it. But you know what? So does our reigning champion, Callum Black, who, do you know what, thought he was down and out when we got to rounds 2 and 3, the Manx Rally this season. That accident ruling him out of that rally, and despite maximum points, sorry, not maximum points, was it? But some points to get off the board and running at round 1, it was looking pretty bleak for Callum and Jack. Well, they've clawed it back since then. Some impressive results and pace as well. If Roskell ever thought he was having it all his own way this year, and I don't think he ever did. People like Mark Kelly, James Williams, who of course won the Manx this year, have all staked their claim on the title fight so far. Simon Bowen, Darren Atkinson, both of those guys have their names at the top of the leaderboard at various points in the season. It has been an exciting year to keep track of and to tell the story of here in the Protyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship, that is for sure. And it ain't over yet. I like the word penultimate. You know why? Because like words like Pundershaw, it reminds me of Steve Ryder and all the greats from the old Rally Report days. Tony Mason and the likes. Penultimate just is a word that I kind of come to associate with rallying, but the reason I like it the most is that it means we've got more to come. That we have. Alan Marriage, Kevin Lane then in the Mark II. Just missing Max Murray, one of our Manx drivers in the Citroën DS3. He's running. You should see from him shortly. George Hayway, Paul De Bono in the Corolla AE86. I was looking forward to seeing that through these stages. Had a problem. They've been trying to find some parts, and fellow competitors have been trying to help them. I can see from the championship WhatsApp group, but I don't think that will transpire now. Perhaps they'll come out and do some super rallying later in the event. afternoon. Gareth Edwards, marshalling at Refuel, watching the coverage. Keurig Jones, there has never been a wet Rally Ceredigion. No, you're right, actually. Although wet in parts. Emma Jones is not managing to get her housework done because coverage is too good. Her words, not mine. Happy to read them out, though. Paul Holmes, Jonathan Davies. And there's Paul Williams on his first ever rally with John Dilwyn John alongside. And that is James Williams' uncle as well. James most excited, as with the rest of the family, cheering him through Aberystwyth last night on their home lanes. Never done a stage rally, never had pace notes. Fair play, boys. I hope you're having a ball out here this weekend. Martin Fairburn watching from Kelso. Looking forward to his visit to the Hills Ford Rally in 2 weeks with Kev Dunn. Team 2030 in the Nova. Nick Evans enjoying the coverage. Hello to you, mate. Remember, all of you commenting are in the draw to win one of our Rallying is Life t-shirts, our special stage rally merchandise partner for this year. If you haven't yet checked, we get asked all the time where you get your special stage merch. Search for Rallying is Life on Facebook. There's a link to the online shop there. It's not expensive, and there's a great range of stuff. Really good range of stuff. Okay, Max Murray, Matty Owen are still running out there on the stage. We'll see from them very shortly. As you see, Roy Lewis, Dion Lewis. It's like misfire on that Escort. No, it's Roy's first rally since the year 2000. An awful lot has happened in the world, let alone in the sport, in 24 years. Blimey. Just think about the sort of cars that would have been competing in these lanes had the dream that is Rally Ceredigion been realised 24 years earlier. That's some thought, isn't it? World Rally cars. Alfa Ferraris, Peugeot Cosworths, yeah. Oh, can you imagine if Andy Burton was out in his Peugeot Cosworth? I shouldn't let myself stray into these wild thoughts, actually, because I get myself all excited, and there's plenty of excitement here on these stages already, but Andy Burton in the Protyre Championship in a Peugeot Cosworth in a very different world. That could have been a thing, couldn't it? Now I've got myself all wistful now. Hello to Paul Wild watching from Otley in West Yorkshire. What's the weather like there? It's close enough to home that I might get a feel for what the weather's like there. My little boy Cole's been playing football this morning. I'll get an update on that when I come off air. Looking forward to that. Alan Pemberton enjoying the coverage. Richard Jessup as well. Good to have you all with us watching along this weekend. We will be live later on this afternoon. .4:35 is the scheduled time. It's the second running of this Clymbriani stage. And then we will be live with you in Aberystwyth for the two final stages of the day, when we do two more of those spectacular harbour-side, seaside stages through the town centre, in front of the crowds. People sat on their bay windows, people sat hanging out of their windows, enjoying a drink in the sunshine as the sun set, filming the cars from the top windows of their house. There was one person who said they hadn't heard that the rally was coming to town, and all of a sudden things started happening, and next thing they know, they've got a Rally 1 World Rally Car Puma going very sideways past their front door. It's not a bad way to be introduced to the sport, is it? Hello to Callum Henderson. I love the fact that you guys have your own conversations underneath our live coverage. Ken Brazier is watching in North Wales in Buckley. Gutted that he can't be here, but at least we can get here in spirit, at least. There's Max Jones, and he started his rallying in 2023. Robbie Sanford alongside. All single venues so far. This is a baptism of fire then, isn't it? Coming out here the Rally Ceredigion lanes. There's a man who's done a lot of road rallying. Hugh Morris, Daniel Johnson in the focus. Sounds, I haven't seen the car up close, it sounds like an ever so well-prepared car, that. Hear the car clicking through the gears, and it looks very composed. It's easy to think of a non-World Rally car Focus as quite a sedate thing, isn't it? But there are some monstrous Mark I Focuses out there doing the rounds at the moment. If you can find one that hasn't been got by the dreaded Ford tin worm, then it'd be a good shout for a rally car. Colin McRae seemed to like his, didn't he? Alex Duffield is watching from Milan. Very glamorous, Alex. What are you doing there? Lucas Motti-Yunus is enjoying himself watching this live coverage. Gareth Roberts is chilling in bed watching the fab coverage. Long night ahead watching Rally Googled in North Wales. Fair enough. I was going to say, what are you doing chilling in bed? But if you're doing a road rally this evening, I will let you off. You're on night shift mode, aren't you? God, I love road rallying. I want to get back out. We're doing a very exciting event at the Motorist, actually, which I'll put a bit of information on in just a moment. There's John Bray with Don James alongside in the Lotus Elise. Doesn't that thing look a lot of fun? I said last night to James Williams, it's all very good driving a Lotus Elise around the seafront in Aberystwyth, but imagine it out on these lanes. Well, it seems to be coping pretty well, doesn't it? So the 12th of October is a date you need in your diary if you're a big fan of road rallying, and if, like me, you either were involved, and I wasn't, or, like me, you're fascinated by the tales of the motoring news Road Rally Championship. We've lined up some all-star guests. I'm joining Jonathan Pullin, well-known rally author, author of the Yorkshire Rally Map here, and Yuck's Fast Book, and a brand new book which is coming out in November as well, by the way. A mostly photo-based book with some archive material in it from those days, in the 60s, 70s, 80s. Can't wait for that. And JP and I have lined Peter Smith, Tony Saddington, Jeremy Matthew and Alan Hillop for what promises to be a heady evening of stories. As you can see, a moment here for the Chrysler Sunbeam. Something has gone wrong earlier in this stage. I can't see, I'm trying to look, see if there's any damage on the car. David Evans, Andrew Davies. Okay, looks like the rear axle, or perhaps a rear shocker, has come detached on the rear right of the car. Still going, the wheel's moving around in the arch basically, but his wheel's moving around. Something has broken on that Sunbeam, but they're just over a kilometre from the end. They'll limp that car through. So yeah, if you like road rallying, join us on the 12th of October. I'll post more information on social media, but the tickets are available now at a reduced price, including a pie and pea supper at the Motorist's website. It does promise to be a fantastic evening. There's a rally car meet during the day as well, and we'll have some glorious cars, including GP cars. That one, it's the Motorist between York and Leeds in Yorkshire. Some lovely places to stay around there if you want to make a weekend of it as well. Yeah, Stuart Evans says, poor Talbot. Chrysler, they would like you to say, but yes, poor Talbot indeed. But do you know what? It just looks like it's broken something on the suspension. Hopefully it'll be back out later on. It'll limp now. Back to service and maybe Super Rally, I would have thought. Geraint Davis says, didn't find out about this until yesterday morning. Loving heck, are you sure? Max Murray, Matty Owen then coming through. They come here 7th in the B10 class here. And at the moment, Rory McCann is way out in the lead of that class here at Rally Ceredigion. And that is all we've got time for in this stream. The last of the cars through on the stage then. We've brought you the full entry, I'm pleased to say, here in stage 4. We'll be back at 16:35 according to the scheduled time for stage 7 later, and then we'll be live with you for the last 2 stages of the day in Aberystwyth. But right now, Callum Black, Jack Morton are surely putting in the drive of a championship. 27.1 seconds as we leave this live broadcast, going into Nanty Mock into the 5th stage. That is their lead ahead of Kevin and Owain Davies, not their championship rivals, coming here with that title fight in mind. That's Neil Roskell and Rob Fagg. They're back in 3rd at the moment with some work to do. But you know what? Our competitors here in the Protyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship don't half love a fight back, and don't we just love watching it? More live action on the way from a special stage. We'll see you later this afternoon. Enjoy your lunch. We'll be back with live rallying from the Protyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship very soon.